last couple of hours, it has emerged that Chelsea have been hit with 74 FA charges. It goes back to a period between 2009 and 2022 when Roman Abramovich owned the club. There are some potential sanctions there. Based on what we read, we thought we'd get some background to what it
they
might...
put their own hands up, haven't they? Todd Bowley's put his own hands up.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
Well, look, Kieran, I'm sure Kieran will explain all. Kieran Maguire, football finance expert, one half of the Price is Football podcast, the excellent podcast with Kevin Day. Good afternoon, Kieran.
Hey, Kieran.
Afternoon, guys. How are we doing?
Yeah,
good. Thank you. Before we come on to any possible or likely punishments and the circumstances around it, what are these charges all about?
Well, when Todd Bowley and the Clearlake Group were in the process of buying Chelsea Football Club, they found a few unusual payments. So I think they withheld about £100 million from the agreed price. And they self-reported themselves to, I think, the FA and the Premier League. The main concerns was that there appeared to be some payments, in the view of Clearlake and Todd Bowley, that had effectively gone off book. And I think these relate to the signings of three players, Willian, Eden Hazard and Samuel Eto'o. And these aren't payments to players. The players have done absolutely nothing wrong, but unusual payments, perhaps to third parties. Was there an issue in terms of the intermediaries, the agents that they were going through? Who had authorised these payments? That appears to be unsure. And the directors who were at Chelsea at the time, they've mainly gone now. So I think the FA and the Premier League, who have kept quiet to date, but they are also monitoring this, that they've now made this step today in the charges relating to these transactions.
The fact that Clearlake did come forward and say, look, we found these, and they said in their statement they've been completely transparent with everybody around this, the new ownership, will that help them in the long run? I mean, I'm sure it'll play a part in any punishment that's handed down, but is there any other precedent like this, Kieran, we can think of?
Yes, I mean, if we take the case of Nottingham Forest, they cooperated with the Premier League when there was an investigation into a potential breach of PSR. We have seen other clubs, I think one of the Milan clubs, they reported themselves to UEFA a couple of years ago when they felt that there'd been a breach of PSR, and their banning from the competition was reduced from 2 years to 1 year. So it's a bit like if I do something wrong and I hand myself in at the police station, that will be deemed to be mitigation. That will be deemed to be part of cooperation, and that can reduce any potential later penalties, which will be concluded by some form of commission.
What would be your expectation here? Would it be a sort of hefty fine, a rap across the knuckles, or could you foresee a points deduction? You think it's unlikely to be something as draconian as that?
It'll be an interesting one in the sense that I think Chelsea and some other clubs have been fined for similar things in the past. Some of the critics of Chelsea will say that the club will have gained on the pitch if they've been able to keep within the PSR limit. Other people will say, well, this is a financial issue. It's to do with payments off book. It's to do with payments that the club itself wasn't aware of. So I think it's based on some of the allegations, and therefore a financial penalty would be more appropriate.
And there's no statute of limitations, obviously, or a situation where they say, well, look, this was a previous ownership. It's got nothing to do with us. It's still in the name of Chelsea, and it's as clear as that.
That's right. It's Chelsea Football Club who are the employer, so therefore it's Chelsea Football Club that will be sanctioned, rather than Chelsea Football Club under Roman Abramovich versus Chelsea Football Club versus Clearlake Capital. So if there are issues, and this would prevent, and this is the right thing, this would prevent a rogue owner simply selling the club on to somebody else, and that new owner therefore picks up a completely clean slate.
Is it clear yet, Kieran, if these were concealed payments or just reporting errors? And does that make a difference, you know?
Well, I think what Clearlake believed to be the case is that there have been payments which have not gone through the normal books and they've not been reported to the football authorities. So I think it's far more serious than an accounting error, somebody not adding up the numbers correctly. We have to be very cautious what we can and cannot say, but Clearlake, they wouldn't have held back the money. And also, I don't think that the seller of the club, which was effectively the government, they wouldn't have accepted a deduction unless they believed that perhaps there was some credibility to Clearlake's claims.
I think there's a level of cynicism now amongst football fans that when you hear something like 74 charges, it's a bit like Dr. Evil saying, I want £1 million.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're still behind City in the charges table. And although, again, in both cases, both clubs have denied any wrongdoing, most football fans think, well, what's going to happen? They'll get lawyered up, probably better lawyers than the FA and the Premier League have got, and they'll get a rap across the nut.
Also, a lot of the time, the punishment, if it's financial, doesn't seem to touch the sides a lot of the time. Transfer restriction sometimes hurts. Points would be the only way to really hurt a club, or demotion, I suppose. But that's obviously if it's deserving of that, given the circumstances. But still, do you understand what I mean, Kieran? I think in the end, people are kind of almost immune to this sort of stuff.
That's right. We all fell in love with football because we started off with jumpers for goalposts. We started off watching a World Cup match or match of the day or the big match or whatever it was going to be, or our uncle or our mum or whoever it was took us along to a match. And I think we have become jaundiced because this isn't the first time that it's happened. It happens in other countries as well. It's not unique to England, to the Premier League. And it's a function of the fact that we now have 2 or 3 more zeros in football than existed 25 or 30 years ago. And big money does give big temptations.
Yeah. Kieran, before we let you go, I saw a post by you and Kevin Day from the Price's Football podcast. Forgive me if I'm wrong about this. Are you doing a kind of a fundraising event, you and Kevin? Is that right?
That's right. I mean, the Premier League deserves a lot of credit. It's supporting the fact that yesterday was World Suicide Prevention Day, and it's acting along with suicide charities. Suicide's the biggest killer in this country for men and women under 35. It's the biggest killer of men under the age of 50. So we're doing a gig in November on behalf of Samaritans. All the money's going to that. And Brighton have been very good. They're letting us host it at the Amex. And we're hoping to raise a lot of money.
You're getting Kevin Day, Palace fan, into the Amex under a blanket, smuggled into the tradesman's.
He'll be doing his act next.
Yeah. Fantastic. Where can people find out? Is it on the Price's Football feed, is it? We can find out the information.
Yeah, we'll be putting out details. We're just agreeing the ticket prices and I think the way that the tickets can be distributed. We're hoping to get a couple of decent guests as well for Kevin to spear, I think is the technical phrase from his point of view.
Great cause. Good luck with it. Thank you, Kieran. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.